Hey, hello. Thanks for coming. It's a pleasure to be here, or maybe I would say it was a pleasure to be here because soon I'm moving. Okay. So I will introduce myself to those who don't know. I did my PhD in Tomsk, Russia in 2010. Then I also worked here at the APC, then at CFM. Then I worked at University of Zurich, then back at CFM as an rigor Basque researcher. And in the end of this week, I move into EPFL. So today, I wanted to talk about what contribution I made, but not into science, but more into education and maybe into society, in the local education, which is a mathematical club for children that I have been doing since last spring. And we give a talk together with Navarro, who volunteered to continue this activity. And we also welcome other volunteers who can join the effort to continue this thing. So the title is Olympiad Math for Children. Why doing it and how to do it? So this is the outline of my talk. So first I will say what I define as Math Olympiads and what is Olympiad Math. So why doing it? So how we do it here. I will tell about my experience as a teacher, then some review of similar activities in Russia, which I experienced as a child. Okay, something that I know in what happens in Switzerland, and something that we know that happens somewhere in Spain, but not in San Sebastian, unfortunately. And what we try to create here. And then we can discuss the future, how we keep it maintaining this here. So maybe you have heard what is a Math Olympiads. Just of curiosity, how many of you have participated in mathematical or physical Olympiads? Not really. How many were already some successful, whatever you define as a success? Oh, great.
Little success.
Yeah, little success.
Not so much.
Okay, at least the best of your school. Okay. So there is the highest level international mathematical Olympiad where the last year school students participate. Then there are national, regional Olympiads for different ages and different levels of regionality. Okay, there are also some other mathematical contests like this international thing, mathematical kangaroo. There is a Concurso de Primavera, which is held in Madrid, and also the similar thing, which is organized by University of the Basque Country for the local thing. But unfortunately, this thing in Spain are not very well known. So even at the schools, the teachers, the directors often don't even know that this thing exists, that they can participate, and they are okay. They don't consider it as important as Tamborazo, of course, which is understood. Like in Russia, it was like obligatory for every school to participate. Every school sends children there. But so you can view it like a system of kind of a sport, of competitions. And then you say, okay, if there is a competition, let's prepare for them to win. But I would say I view it the other way around. There is a certain type of mathematics that is used in these Olympiads. And then the Olympiads, I would say, is a thing to motivate children to do this, just as an extra motivation. But the main motivation is actually to do this preparation and not the competition itself. Because in the very competition, you need many things to win, and partly it's some construction of your brain, which is given by birth. But doing preparation is something that you can do, you can enjoy and develop different skills. So what kind of problems are used on mathematical Olympiads? That's problems that require not much knowledge. Basically, usually, ideally, it should be enough just the knowledge that the kid gets at school at his age, but some so-called ingenuity. So the difficulty of the problem is not achieved by some technicality, sophistication, 10 pages of calculations, but rather there is some simple and elegant solution, but it's not easy to see it. And the training is to find this kind of solution. Here are some examples of problems, like, for example, let Q be a polynomial of degree 223, satisfying a condition that Q at integer numbers from 1 to 24 is equal to 1 over n. Find the value at 2025. Yeah, it's very typical to use the current year as a number, as a big number in a problem. And okay, maybe if you want to think of this, and by the end of the talk, we can discuss the solutions. Okay, so typical topics which are used in these Olympiads are the number theory, so different properties of prime numbers, divisibility, division with remainder, also about binary numbers or some other positional non-decimal number system, combinatorics, graph theory, which can, but basically only the basics of this. So some, they should know some basic, but then to how to combine it and find some interesting solutions. One of the fun thing is games. So when you say this is a game, we have certain rules. If there are two players, who will win? The first or the second one? And you need to find a winning strategy. Logic. So this, when there are people who always say truth, who always say a lie, or some in between, they say something, and you need to figure out who is the liar, who is the truth teller. Also quite fun. Okay. There may be some classical problems like Euclidean geometry, some algebra, also some puzzles like crypto-arithmetics, like, you know, every letter here defines one digit, and you need to find which is what. Just some examples. So these problems are not, most of them are not very useful, but more it's like a fun game to play. So here we come to a reason, and basically the main reason is because it is fun. So just it should be fun for the teacher, for the children coming, but it's a special kind of fun. Of course, it's not about making jokes and laughing. It's more about searching for a solution, and finally you find it. Yeah, and the other, and the other maybe a social aspect that, of course, it's not everyone who enjoys this, like everything, and this is quite for very special kids, and it's good to bring them together so that they communicate, see that they're not alone in this world. This, I would say, is the main reason why doing this, and then we can discuss some positive effects that it develops some thinking. So also, I would say that children have some, at the early age, have some contact with real scientists, like we, if we can call like ourselves like that. But it gives some impression that scientists do not live on another planet; they are among us, and they can talk to them, discuss some maybe some more also in between during coffee break, discuss some modern science problems. Okay, also it's useful for the scientific community because, okay, we attract more people to do some kind of science and technology, probably. Okay, maybe they would do it without this, I don't know. There's no way to measure. Okay, so some bridging with the society and again, the scientific community, and people finally get to know where the APC, CFM, and the university are. Yeah, you may be surprised, but despite all this outreach activity, which CFM, the APC, and whatever do, From our perspective, it looks like, okay, everyone should know where we are, what we are, and all this, like this passion of knowledge, blah, 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 everything. But you know how many times I had to explain where the university is. After saying that the IPC is something next to university, okay, where is the university? So that's the state, actual state of the society. So, okay, maybe you have a question, why doing math? Why not physics? Because, well, I'm physicist, most of you also, I think, are physicists. Why math? Okay, one of the reasons, because why math is better for such activity, because it requires very little previous knowledge, and everything can be basically derived on paper just from a few axioms, just from statements, simple statements. Like if I say that in the atom there is an electron which is somehow moving around the nuclei, you have to believe me, because you cannot make a proper experiment in the room to prove this. But in mathematics, you want to prove a theorem, just take and prove it. I can have it on the blackboard. And also it can be started from a quite early age. As soon as they learn to manipulate with numbers, you can somehow make problems how you can manipulate. Okay, you don't know numbers, do something with the shapes, it's called geometry. So that's why such problems which require basic knowledge, but more some elegant solutions, they are more in mathematics rather than in physics. With, of course, with higher edge, you can start with physics, but okay. Why am exactly I am doing this? Okay, first of all, from one side is from my background, that before I joined the physical faculty, and during my study in school, I participated in different levels of Olympiads. Like, okay, my best result is why I had got a third degree or diploma on the All-Russian Olympiad in physics. That's my win. Also won the Siberian one. Also in mathematics, I participated more on the regional level, on city, and also I participated in different kinds of activities, and I enjoyed it very much as a child. Okay, different ways between 12 and 16 years old. I was. Okay, there was a Sunday math school. Okay, we called it Sunday school, which was someone's joke about religion. Okay, so we also in some summer schools. I will talk a little bit more about these activities in the other part of my talk. And the other reason is this guy, Roman, who is now 9 years old. Last year he was 1 year smaller, who is a usual boy who likes to watch YouTube as much as he wants. Okay, so if you leave a child watching YouTube, they will watch something like this maybe. But at some point I noticed that he was between normal videos for his age, he's watching something like this. Do you know what is 3x plus 1 problem? I also didn't know. So the problem is, for example, this one is interesting. You start with a number. If it's even, you divide it by 2. Then if it's odd, you turn it into 3x plus 1. Okay, yeah. And you do it step by step by step. And it turns out that you will end up with 1 for every number, but it is not proven. But nobody can prove why. However, it is checked for very big numbers using computer. Or something other, like how digital logic, some Fourier transform. That's some examples that I saw. Say, okay, maybe it's time to proceed. Yeah, I have another son who is also quite smart and also participates here, a bit older. So how we started in, so the first session was on March 23, almost a year ago. So with some colleagues here, we met and decided to start. So we prepared some problems, and that's how it was. photos are not exactly from the first session, but from one of the first ones of the first. So they're just in this cafeteria of the APC. We gathered some children, maybe there were around 30 on the first one. So gave some problems, they solved them, then discussed with them how they solve it, all this. They kind of enjoyed it. So, well, how I know they enjoyed it, they came again. Okay, then there was a part with not a coffee break, it was a cacao break. They don't drink coffee. And then some video club where in this room we were watching some scientific videos, which was also quite enjoyable for them. So, and then we can continued, and since then, almost every Sunday, maybe except the holidays, summer breaks, and something like this. So we made some 30 sessions in mathematics, typically on Sunday. The children are coming in the age between primary 3 and the last year of bachillerato. So we have different levels, and so then it was around 300 children I have counted that came at least once. Okay, so those who came at least twice, maybe half of that, and who came like 5 times or more, so which you can call more permanent, was like 30. So the case like this, which is totally normal. It's not for everyone. Not everyone can enjoy, and also you should know waking up on Sunday is also a barrier to do. So if they come, they really want it. Children are mostly from around here and from Donostia, but some are coming a bit further from Tolosa, Irun, some even from Bilbao, and some from abroad, from Endaya. But okay, but they still speak Spanish. Just live there. But so we are an international school. You can show it like this. But unfortunately, by the end, we have only one permanent teacher, which is this guy. You know. So how we do with this number of children? We separated them into groups. So the younger and the older. Of course, for some reason there are more younger ones. So we also primaries basically form one group, which is often bigger than the advanced group, which is from secondary bachillerato, and some of the very advanced kids from the primary school are in that group. So one group is solving, other watching video group, then they drink some cacao with cookies, and they switch. Some topics that we have covered during these sessions. Okay, games. So you define a rule of a game, and then who can win. So either the first player who does the first player or the second, in the end will win if he knows the strategy, no matter how the other one plays. Yeah, logic, combinatorics, again, graph theory. So well, basically mostly on very basic level, but they kind of get familiarized with all these concepts, and then they can play with them. So we even started with proof by induction, so on the basis of a 4-color theorem. How many of you know what is a 4-color theorem? No. Okay, whatever map you have, you can paint it in only 4 colors, such that not any 2-second states or districts, whatever, have the same color. You just need only 4 colors. That's a very nice theorem. It's hard to prove that you need that 4 colors is enough, but it's quite easier to prove that 6 is enough. For 4, it's a difficult proof. But for 6 is quite simple, for 5 a little bit more difficult, but still manageable on a one sheet of paper. So something about fractals, probability, cryptographics. Okay, one interesting type of problem is called the hungry god. So you can tie your goat in a certain way, and then you need to figure out what geometrical shape it will make. Or the reverse problem. You want this geometrical shape, how you need to tie your goat. So where it will eat all the grass. Okay. About video club also is an important part of this activity. And they basically just sit and watch. And there are a lot of nice YouTube channels on YouTube which explain it with good animation or with some, this more than blogger style, YouTuber style presentation, but they talk about real science in a way that children can enjoy. So that's how it looks like. Sometimes, yeah, we saw this. They were surprised about this puzzle when there is a piece which disappears and appears. There is this funny puzzle. Okay, it's a trick that this line is not actually a line. That's what they were checking here. So this is a digital logic simulator. So there is a program which you can download and try with and/or. And from this, you can build some calculations. So they also try to figure out how it works. Yeah, so we even made one session outdoors in summer. It's a Park Ayete. Okay, it was not very many people came because it was during the summer break. So, but still, it was once. We also had some programs. Okay, we also had some coding club, which we did on Monday. It was not so many who could attend because it's Monday evening. Not everyone comes, but it was not such a prepared session. It's more like a free club where they could come, program something, develop some games in Scratch. Some more advanced engines, like there is such a game engine, open source one. Also, you can use Python. And with some advanced, we also tried to do some computational mathematics, let's say. Have you heard of such a page project Eder? Those who enjoy programming and both programming and mathematics can try. It is a collection of problems which you cannot solve just on a paper like a real mathematician, but also you cannot really solve it as a real programmer, pure programmer. It has a problem, something like blah, blah, blah. You call two numbers friend numbers if their representation in base 10 has at least one common digit. Okay, quite simple condition. So, for example, you have 1 and 1 here, they are friend numbers. Define a function of numbers such that P and Q are friend numbers. So f of 100 is, for f of 100, you can write a loop, okay, double loop, and find all of them and enumerate and find that it is equal to this. So we now find f of 10 to the power 18 modulo some random number. Okay, so what is the answer? If you try to do a double loop, each of them containing 10 to the 18, you will end up waiting for a long time. So first you solve it like a mathematician, finding another algorithm to, yeah. So, and then you can get some register, get some achievements, your ranking in this game. So yeah, it turns out that I solved this problem in 2017, and this is the answer. I don't remember how exactly I did it. But okay, this is all the difficult ones, of course, with the kids, but there are first problems, a few which are more basic, which are accessible even for the kids, just to know what is programming, how to define a simple loop. Yeah, so, okay. Another activity which we have done twice is called the mathematical battle, which is, I think, is even better than mathematical Olympiad. Because it's more interactive, like in an Olympiad, they come, they sit quietly for 3 hours solving problems by themselves, which not everyone can stand. But here, how it works, like I give two teams, try to have them equilibrated. They receive the same set of problems. Then they have like hour and a half to solve them or not, or to try to solve them. And then they start with a battle. So one team calls the other one, say, we call your team for problem number 4. So you have to present your solution and we have to prove that it is wrong, if possible. And then we get some points, then we switch orders. So you see, we have different ages competing in this. It was, as you see, it was just here with a blackboard, which we brought from the office of Dario, thanks to him for that. Already did it twice, and it turned to be quite fun. Okay, we got somehow to the news, to the newspaper, Diario Basco, and once I was talking on the radio about it, which also helped to spread the information about this activity. Okay, as I said, the Math Olympiad is not the goal, it's a motivation, but okay, we have our first success. So this guy, Telmo Santos, was selected among the 3 top on the Basque Country Olympiad. So he will go to the national level. Let's wish him good luck. So not bad I mean, for me, for him it's great. for me, the teacher and the organizer, it's my first success in this area. So congratulations to him. Okay, some of the pedagogical principles that I derived both from my time in the childhood and what I now acting as a teacher, that first, I don't try to explain to them much because they don't listen. That's the reality that we should keep in mind, that we want, I don't know, maybe as a professor, you want to give a lecture for hour and a half and expect that they listen. No, they will distract. That's the reality. And we should not complain about this, we should use this. So give them something more interactive, give them problems, ask their solutions, argue with them, lead a discussion, that's the way. So, or just let them figure out everything themselves. So it's like they learn through solving. So like, don't give the answers, just give the correct questions. And so they answer the questions themselves. Kind of this is the main style of how I try to do it. Okay, so now we go to the other part of the talk. By the way, you can interrupt me at any point if you have questions. No, not so far. Okay, we can leave the discussion later. So for the background, how it is done in other countries, of course, I can talk about what I know better, is how how it was, and maybe I think it's still something like that there. So maybe 3 places will be important for telling my story. So this is Omsk, where I was born and grew up. So there is a neighboring town, Novosibirsk, and there is a city Kirov, but more we will talk about a small village in the Kirov region. For no reason. Okay, this is Tomsk, where I also did PhD. Okay, just so that you have some geographical feeling. Where is it all happened? Okay. So as I said, I participated in Olympiad, summer school, and the first maybe people who introduced me to this world were these guys. So Georgy Kukin and Alexander Stern. This one is still alive, this one unfortunately not. But who founded this movement in the Omsk region? That they are mathematicians, professors of our University of Omsk. So they organized this Sunday school, okay, mathematical, not a religious one. So don't be confused, but so bringing children who are already are somehow successful on an Olympiad and want to advance more. So we came on Sunday solving some problems. Of course, it was not only they, there were other teachers, but I would say the most bright ones who were really inspiring for me to continue with mathematics. But there was a place it was in our region, but in other regions there were their own people who did this. And there was a place where you could meet almost all of them. Once a year, they were doing a summer school somewhere there. So it's around 30 hours by train or by Google says by car, it's like 30 hours from my city to this village. So by train, it's roughly the same time. So somewhere in the woods, in the middle of nowhere, living in such wooden houses, we were doing mathematics, but also some were doing physics. Like how it works, like in the morning we have our mathematical classes with problems, with also mathematical battles, or some other discussions, maybe some other competitions, and in the afternoon, some regular sports, dancing, campfires, and all this stuff, which of a typical summer camp. So it's roughly 20 days somewhere in a remote place. Yeah, in Russia, children have a long summer break of 3 months, so there is time to spend 1 month in another school. But that's what the school which I really enjoyed, unlike the usual school. So there is another one, summer school that I also attended, which is in Novosibirsk. Okay, this one is based on the university, so you see it's more civilized. People sit in the university audience. But still, it is in a nice place, also in the wood. There is a so-called academic town, which is a town built specially for research and for the university, just close to Novosibirsk. There are other academic towns also in Tomsk and in other places, but okay, I'm talking about this particular one. It's also on it doesn't have a sea, but it has something which they call the sea, which is just a huge water deposit. But still, it's good. Okay, it has a beach. So, and well, roughly the same spirit, but more local. So it was just 600 kilometers from my town, just not far. Okay, so when I was living in Switzerland, so just to give a feeling that it's not a purely Russian thing, there was in Zurich we lived. So my son also attended a club, which was a pride with one. So just one woman organized, and she did it with children. Okay, but then you can figure out that the Russian trace. Actually, she's from Russia. So yeah, okay, it doesn't work. Okay, but in EPFL Lausanne, recently I found out that they have actually quite a more developed activity. So there is a whole department of the university which works with children to promote different science, and does these regular activities from quite advanced mathematics, which is called course LR, sorry for my French, but also some mathematics and games, and this is a more developed thing. It's really people who are hired by the university only for this. Like here, I'm working for free as a volunteer in my free time. There, the people are really hired just for this, and there is a whole department. I had a chance to talk to them recently. Okay, so there is something. What about Spain? Okay, about Spain, okay, Laura will speak a bit more because she knows more. Just what I found from internet. So there is a project as Talmat, Estímulo del Talento Matemático, which began in Madrid, but then spread into many other regions. Unfortunately, we have a white spot in the Basque Country. There is also white spot in the Aragon, but there is a different thing, which Laura will talk about. Well, in the Basque Country, we have something called Taller de Mathematics, which is done by some university mathematicians in Bilbao, but only in Bilbao, and also maybe it's not a very big group. And it's only for certain age, basically for the highest age, to prepare for this Spanish Olympiad. Okay, there is Taller de Mathematics in Zaragoza. There also I found something virtual array made by this Society of Mathematics. But again, it's targeted for older age. So maybe I now give my word to Laura, who will talk a bit how it's done in Spain. Wait, just a second.
Here you can.
Okay. No, okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
So yeah, again, the Olympiad Mathematics, how and why. So first of all, like, who am I and why am I doing this? I'm a first year PhD student, PhD physics student actually, from the neutrino group here in the APC. But I actually studied in university maths and physics in the University of Zaragoza. So that's all I know is from Zaragoza and Aragon basically, and that's what I'll explain later. Then I studied my master's in physics and started a PhD, but since a really young age, I always liked, I really enjoyed maths and so on. And I attended like clubs like this one since I was a kid. And then I took part in the mathematical Olympiads and these things. So that's why I'm doing it now. So I'll explain all my background from the beginning. So first of all are the Olympiadas Matemáticas Aragonesas, which is like the mathematical Olympiads, but for young kids. It started in 1989 in Aragon, and it's for second of ESO students, which is like 13-year-old kids, 13, 14-year-old kids, and it's organized by Mathematical Professors Association in Aragon, or in Zaragoza specifically. And I wanted to give like an overview of the kind of problems that are used in this kind of Olympiads, which are way simpler than the ones in the pure mathematical Olympiads later for the 18-year-old kids or guys, which are problems that are quite simple. Maybe if you read them now from our point of view, maybe they're like quite obvious or simple to solve. But if you think about them from a 13-year-old point of view who barely knows what a prime number is in this case. So for example, this one is like, we know the prime numbers are infinite. So if we multiply all of them, which is the last digit, I mean, how can we know the last digits of all this multiplication? So for us, it might be super like trivial or obvious, but if you barely know what a prime number is and you haven't even thought like in a mathematical way, or don't have like this logic, you haven't ever thought logically of this kind of problems, it might not be that trivial, or at least I don't think so. So yeah, and since a few years, there's also, they already started also Olympiads for 6th of primary students, which are like 11, 12 years old, and also the 4th of ESO students, which are a bit older, but still a bit young for the proper mathematical Olympiads. And actually, I found out here that there's also this Olympiad Mathematica de Euskadi, which is the same thing, but here also for second of ESO students, which is 13, 14 years old. So yeah, after all this, we get to the pure mathematical Olympiads, as Stepan said before, And there's this thing in Zaragoza, which is the Taller del Talento Matemático, basically a mathematical talent workshop, we could say. And it's organized by a group of university professors and also high school teachers, also both active and retired professors. Although many people take part in it, from PhD students, like students associations, or even, as I said, retired professors and retired teachers that come to help or give talks. So there's actually people organizing it, but many people taking part in the workshops and the sessions. So yeah, well, sorry for the Spanish, but it's like, whoops, sorry. Sorry for the Spanish, but it's the website and I couldn't find it in English. So the way it's organized is there's sessions like every year, and it's once every more or less 3 weeks, depending on the people who organize it, their availability and so on. So yeah, there's 3 different groups. First of all, for the third of ESO students, which is more like, in this case, geometry with plot, and plot are like small geometrical figures, and it's kind of interactive outreach talks and guided exercises, but like not playing, but like interacting with the kids and these things, but not super technical. Then it's the fourth of ESO group, which is more intuitive, well, advanced math problems, not really advanced, but already introducing somehow some pure mathematical concepts, such as, in this case, the look and say successions. I don't know if you know them. They're like super easy and not like, yeah, it's basically, but yeah, look and say successions. Take a look at them if you're interested, because they're like funny to see at some point. But yeah, this thing in particular are super simple, but you're already thinking of this concept, which is not at all seen in fourth of ESO still, and it's introduced, I would say, maybe in the mathematical degree way later. So yeah, and then the last group, which is for bachillerato, which is 16, 17, 18-year-old people who are, which is some kind of preparation for the mathematical Olympiad. And it depends on the sessions, but most of the time it's organized as a theoretical thing. First of all, I mean, it's not shown as a mathematical class, but instead of, you're gonna use some concepts you don't even know about. So first of all, they introduce you the concept, barely at the definition, no proofs and no theorems, nothing super technical, but they first introduce the concept, and then they show you the text of the exercises, and then after a while, chatting with your mates and trying to solve them, they explain you the solution. So that's most of the weeks and most of the sessions how it's organized, and I think it's really, I don't know, like we could really be inspired on this thing, and it covers a wide age gap, which is important in these cases, and not only focusing. You can focus on the mathematical Olympiads, but it's not only focused on that age group, but also in the younger kids and ESO students who are interested in math and start knowing, can start to understand more technical mathematical concepts, but which are not taught at school. So I think it's really nice. And then, yeah, so after all this, and after all this background somehow, we're back again at the math club here. So I hope all this kind of gave you the answer to the question of why am I doing this, because I mean, I really enjoyed doing it when I took part in these clubs or in this session. So now that I'm on the other side, or that I can be on the other side, I really like to enjoy, I really enjoy teaching kids and try to like share with them this math. I mean, that you can really enjoy doing math apart from a boring class at school. Which is like, it's commonly known, sadly. But yeah, so now the state of the art, as Stepan said, this is the math club nowadays, which is for primary years and bachelor students. So basically from 8 years old to 18, more or less. And it's Sundays at the APC from 10 to 11, every Sunday. Okay.
Yeah.
So now that Stepan will be gone, the idea is to continue doing this, but I would like to make some changes, and or to present you some suggestions that I'm, of course, open to for discussion and open to hear whatever you have to say too. But yeah, I mean, all this comes from my point of view and the people I've talked to about this topic that have like shared with me some of their thoughts or why they would do it or why they wouldn't. So it's kind of a overview of all this. So first of all, I'm not able to do it every week because I simply don't have time to do it every week or to prepare. So my idea would be to do it like every 3-4 weeks, more or less. But of course, at least in the beginning, which is, let's see how many people we are and how we can organize it and all this. But first of all, I would say that could be like a first suggestion to make. Because as I said, I simply don't have time to prepare and to do it and to be here every week. So yeah, but of course, if you guys are open to it, I'm more than glad to hear. Another thing is Sunday. Now it was done always on Sundays at the APC, but I heard from some people that maybe for the kids it's better on Sunday because they don't have sports or whatever, but some of them they may have. Also, I heard from some people from the APC who don't live here in Donosti, but in villages around, that on Sundays there's no bus to come here. So it might be a bit more difficult for them to come if it's on Sunday. So they might prefer an afternoon during the week or something like that. So yeah, that's a thing we could discuss also, that maybe Sunday is not the best day, or maybe it is. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, simply just to tell that it used to be like that, but depends on who we are. If when we continue doing this, that's not fixed, and we can adapt to what fits us better or fits us better or fits the kids or whatever. Also, I would suggest to focus on primary and ESO for different reasons. First of all, because it's more accessible for us to prepare, first of all, and also for the kids to come. You have a wider age gap of kids that can attend. Primary people, it's like 4 years more or less in primary school, and then 4 years in high school. So there are programs that are accessible for all these kids and not only for the 17, 18-year-olds.
Well, that's actually what is happening, that they're much more younger than older.
That's why. And also for what I saw when I came here, the public...
From Bachillerato, we have very few.
I saw one. So that's there's more public from primary and ESO. So maybe it would be more interesting to focus on this kind of group rather than in Bachillerato, if there's no Bachillerato people coming. So it doesn't make that much sense, I think. And also, as was said before, there's this Taller de Matemáticas in Bilbao for mathematical Olympiads. So there's actually a workshop only for mathematical Olympiads that is taking part now. So maybe it would be interesting to have them and have that option for the Olympiads and then have this option for the young kids. And yeah. Also, it would be interesting if we have enough people and if we have the opportunity and the option and so on to maybe introduce some talks or comment with them some interesting math outreach videos or something related with mathematical culture and not only with pure exercises or other activities or basically open to whatever you have to suggest. But I don't know, I think it would be nice as it happened at TTM that I said before, like interactive workshops and talks more than purely exercises. But yeah, of course, that's also harder to organize and to find someone to give the talk on this thing. So we can see. And also, I think a really important thing and a really important factor in this kind of sessions or workshops and so on is the sense of community that these kids have. So it would be nice, not only the coffee break, but also maybe having lunch afterwards with some tortillas or nachos or something, like to have the kids gather as a group and to not only talk during the class, but like talk afterwards and let them make it, like this sense of community of all these kids that come on Sunday morning to do mathematical problems. I mean,
Actually, we did a couple of times. Actually, after the mathematical battle, it was a video gaming session.
yeah.
So they were
not-
connecting PlayStation and other consoles here to the screen, and we were just playing. But that was after the battle. After hard thinking, they relaxed, and this makes a community actually.
Yeah, so these kind of things, and I think it's a nice place to meet people like you who are also interested in this kind of stuff. Because as we said, it's like a very little portion of younger kids who come on a Sunday morning and are interested in this topic. I mean, you don't come here if you're not really interested in these things. So I think it's a nice opportunity for them to gather and talk together and maybe even become friends probably. And also it would be nice, and I would really like to do it, but also it's hard and maybe a bit more long-term. Try to standardize it in the sense of making it formal and maybe letting like the IPC, making the IPC part of this, or maybe some kind of association and so on, so that it's not only us doing this thing on a Sunday morning, but it's a formal thing. And maybe it's that way it's also easier to look at it as an association or whatever, so that also schools have easier access to it. Because, for example, I didn't even know this existed till we got the mail. So maybe that's happening now to most of the schools here in Donosti. So maybe that would be like an easier way to do. I mean, easier speaker for this to be known and to. I know I got to know all these Olympiads for the second of best students when I was a kid, thanks to a teacher I had at school. So maybe if he didn't tell me this thing existed, I wouldn't even know it was over there. So I think that's likely to be happening now to many kids right now, and especially Donosti, which is not that big, and maybe this is not that known. So yeah, I think it would be nice to try to formalize it and to make it more open to the public, I guess, or like easier access, or yeah. But of course, as I said, your suggestions and your changes are also welcome. And yeah, so basically, I'm open to hear what that you have to say, and yeah, to support to this all this. And yeah, I really well, there was a thank you slide. Okay. So yeah, thank you for listening, and I hope to see you soon. And yeah, we're more than open to hear your opinions, your suggestions, or your I would really love this club to continue. So if you guys are willing to help.
Yeah, also to add, just I'm not completely leaving. Like, okay, physically I will be out most of the time, but still I'm ready to continue like helping to organize it like remotely, because big part actually is to preparing the session, not only just to be here these 3 hours. But this part, yes, I can do. I can also somehow connect online. How much it can work or not is we will figure out. But some maybe from time to time it will come. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks to everyone. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, thanks to everyone. Okay. Thanks to everyone who had been a teacher at least once, and to the security personnel of the IPC and CFM who are here on Sunday morning, and we disturb their peaceful day on Sunday, to the IPC and CFM for providing the space and different supports, also to the outreach team. Okay, I didn't put the faces of the IT support, And big thanks for these two guys, which are my two sons, without whom probably I wouldn't even start to do it. So, and yeah, we welcome your suggestions and especially your participation. So now your questions, suggestions, comments.
When do we start? When is the next session?
Whenever you want to do it. Right now.
I mean, Laura was proposing to have every 3 weeks, more or less. So what would be the proposed first session, let's say?
And whenever there's kind of a group or some people at least willing to do it,
As soon as she knows that she's gonna have help with
basically.
At least 2 professors, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you propose to rotate the professors or?
I don't think there's gonna be enough people to rotate, honestly.
Oh, shit.
How did it work for you, Stepan, in the beginning when you had all of those?
It was not for long that they were actually helping. No, I was always present, and I mean the best thing is that you have quite a few of teachers simultaneously. Like, of course, if it's one against a group of 30 children, it doesn't work well because you more need to listen to them, how they solve it individually, to talk to everyone individually a lot. So ideally, it should be one teacher for 5 children, or 1 per 5, or at least 1 per 10. But okay, we need to face the reality that either we gather everyone who can in one day, and then 1 month we don't make activity, or we have one on this day, another one on another day, and also okay, it depends on the number of kids coming. So and it fluctuates a lot. Sometimes it's okay, we have 2 groups. There were days when the first group was like over 20. But there were days when there were just 5, and it's not very predictable. So okay, we need to live with this.
Maybe there's something we can do to be more predictable.
I would say better to have 1 teacher per day, but do it more often. Yeah, because you do it once a month, so okay, so this particular day someone cannot come, so this particular kid misses 1 month, maybe the second one, and then he forgets about this activity. If it's almost every week, at least okay, some of them they skip because of their other activities like sports or chess or whatever. Yeah, or illness or whatever. And so, but if someone falls out for a long time, we can lose them.
But I don't think people will. No, perdón.
I was gonna say that then Laura needs rotation,
¿Es that?
that you need rotation for that to happen.
No, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I saw in the TTM in Zaragoza, people don't really forget about that. And this was happening every 3-4 weeks, maybe sometimes every 2 if there were enough people to do it. And people really came one session after the other one, even if you missed one. And it was full always in those 3 groups. So I don't think, I don't know.
I have a question for Stepan. I don't know if you already did this or talked about like also sending problems for the kids to do during this period in between.
Yeah, it can work also. Well, I don't know because how much
I mean, not
how much they
not
involved.
mandatory.
So because yeah, when they come, yeah, it's easy to interact with them. But when they at home, they have other things to do. So not many of them actually interact. They're too young to be so serious.
Yeah, but I mean, not mandatory, but maybe be like.
Yeah, as a quiz, yeah, you can. Once I did an online session. So first I send some problems in the beginning of the week, and in the end we connect online. And this is also an option, and also I can do it from remote. It works better for the older, like secondary, but with the youngest online sessions, I don't think they will ever work. At least I tried, it doesn't seem that they. At some point we did also hybrid sessions, like even, so we are here, okay, they're in the cafeteria with the blackboard, and there is also a Zoom session, so if you can connect online, usually those who live quite far, like from Bilbao or something.
Yeah, but I think it's hard to follow these kind of sessions online without all the people around, and because sometimes most of the explanations are given not in the blackboard but in the table itself.
Yeah, so
Talking with
there is
the
a lot.
kids.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah,
that's-
of course, it's like when there is 1-2, you can also switch to the screen for a few minutes, talk with this guy. Of course, if they are all online, it's much more.
And also what you say about giving exercises for them to do them at home. Actually, how I started with when I was in second of ESO, it was this maths professor. He actually gave it. I mean, he left them on the table in class after the class ended, and he was like, there are some like logical problems, not mathematical problems, but some puzzles or logic problems for everyone that wants to take one and take it home. And whenever you have it done, you can bring it to me. I'll correct it. We can discuss them, whatever. And there was actually, I mean, it was in the class, out of the class of 25 people, it was maybe 2 of us doing that, or 3, but it was 2 of us doing that. And we took them at home, we did them at home, and maybe not every week, but every 2 weeks. So whenever you had them done, I was like, yeah, okay, Mariano have this done. Can you correct it? Can we discuss it? I didn't know how to do this. I don't know.
I think it's a cool way of keep them hooked, because at the end of the day, you just out of curiosity, like I don't know how to do it. Maybe I want to know the solution.
I think that's the point most of the times. I mean, if you're willing to come here on Sunday to do these things, you're probably willing to do that at home on Tuesday. So, I mean, not having them as homework itself, but like you can do them if you want. You can come to me and ask me whenever you have them or whenever you have some doubts or whatever. So I think that would be nice, but still you have to prepare that, you have to organize all that, and that's also work to do apart from all this. So it should be, I mean, yeah, but I think it's actually what it is.
Considering the predictability of the amount of people that would come, is there any possibility of having some registration process?
Yes, there is. But well, the parents are not very disciplined. I made these Google forms. Many people just forget to fill them. Well, and they will fill it on the last day. Okay, I don't want to be like, okay, you should register by Wednesday, otherwise I don't let you in on Sunday. I don't want to behave like this.
No, but it was just to know the.
Yeah, I'm doing this.
Teacher,
Please notify me who is coming, who is not. They notify me on Friday evening maybe, and then I count. Then on Sunday evening or Saturday morning, if you inform me that they will not come finally because of something, finally, yeah. So, but I mean, okay. Finally, I decided. Okay, I know the number of participants. What do I do with this number? Not much actually. The only thing is just how many copies I need to print. So I just print a bit more, and that's it. Otherwise, okay, this number came. Okay, unless it becomes like something huge, like 100 or 50, or even 50 is a huge number. Then, of course, it will become a mess, and then you need to do something. But I think it will not even happen. At least not regularly. Or maybe not a thing to worry. If there are a few, it's not bad. Like 5, okay, 3, okay. Once I was attending such a club, which is organized only in my school. And after a few sessions, I ended up being the only one attending. So I had a private lessons from the best guy in the city. In this area, it was a luxury and for free for me. But okay. Whoever comes, yeah. Goes with this. And again, it's just you need to start doing, and then you figure out what is a problem, what is not.
is your usual pool of, how many problems are you usually working through, the problem-solving sessions?
Well, it depends, on the difficulty. I can propose, sometimes I was proposing like up to 10, the first being like really trivial, but for the older ones, but for the younger, I mean, like you don't, the goal sometimes is just, okay, there is a pool, but you don't have to get to the end. Just get wherever you can get during this time. Or for some, I say, okay, start with problem number 5. You don't waste time for the first ones. Too easy.
Are most of these pulled from the public pool of Olympiad problems?
Yes. So one of my favorite pools, there is a page which has a lot of problems collected by and sorted by topic, by difficulty, and by age. Okay, there is only one problem with this page for you, that it is in Russian. But maybe with something like Google Translate in the browser, maybe even you can handle it. I tried in principle with auto-translating it to English, maybe it may work even there. But maybe you find a better page in a different language. Of course, there are pages of, I don't know, Spanish Olympiad, but that's for the high age, but also other Olympiads, they post previous problems.
Yeah, the page of the Olympiad in Aragon, I mean, they have the problems since 1989, since barely they started.
Yeah, every Olympiad actually has a database. The only
Yeah, but that's
the
those
thing
are
that
for
it
this.
was sorted by topic, by difficulty. Yeah.
No, but I mean, since they're for like the young kids, there are topics, but they're not
Yeah.
that
Okay. Yeah.
different as in later.
Yeah. There is a lot of material in the internet.
Yeah, I mean, would there be people interested in continuing with this, like willing to help somehow, or that'd be good?
Yes, I can help.
I can prepare the yes.
I can also make it. I don't know if the database, when I was doing it in the US, I don't know if I have access to it.
Well, yes, in the US, there must be tons of.
Yeah, I'll have to look.
Oh, also, all these sessions are in Spanish.
Yeah, we do it in Spanish. I don't speak Basque. Well, if you want to, if there is someone who doesn't speak Spanish but only English, maybe also can. Okay, so we can say this day.
That's true.
Yeah, you can say, okay, this day the
Club
teacher
for kids,
keeps
Spanish class.
doesn't speak Spanish. Sorry. Okay, I mean, we provide something for free. They cannot complain. So that's what we do today. Today English day.
Okay, so no, we let you know if we're interested and we can help, and then you organize the.
Oh, what is your main way to promote for this kind of club?
What do you mean?
And do you use social media? How do you?
So you're asking Stepan for right now.
Well, I have an Instagram account. Well, I don't know which have like 100. I don't know, maybe 150 subscribers. I don't know. Well, of course, I don't know how to do it like more to the society. As you see, we were on a newspaper which is quite well read, I think, El Diario Basco. So after that, there was some increase of people coming, but again, then they just spread the word by word to the.
But the APC has a list of high schools. So
Yeah, but you can send the information to school, then it will stay in their mailbox. That's the reality.
I think the easiest way to get to the people actually, of course, social media helps. But if your target is a 13-year-old kids, they're not gonna follow that account on Instagram probably. Or if they have Instagram, they're not. I mean, either they don't have Instagram or they're not gonna follow that account.
Well, of course.
we need TikTok.
Well, that's the main. Well, maybe in this case the target is the parents.
No, tú ya estás en los 40 años, o sea, no.
I mean, I think in the spreading information, the target are the parents.
Yeah,
Parents,
either
grandparents.
the parents or I think getting to the schools is way easier.
Yeah, but.
I mean, even if
I
one or
think
two kids per school.
schools are very lazy in this account. I tried. Even the school of where my kids study, they say, yeah, maybe we will found.
Yeah, we can try everything.
It's really doesn't work well here.
So right now you make a post on Instagram and that's the primary method by which you let people know.
I have a web page.
Okay.
Okay, there is a web page, math.dipc.org.
We could involve Amaya in this if she wants.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I think
That's why.
in the same way that you're going to school to talk about women in science and so on, you can go and talk about this mathematics club or whatever in person, so they can get to know you and the people that are involved, and that way it's more personal.
Yeah,
Rather than
maybe.
email.
Yeah, it's time. It's a lot of
Just
time to
present
go
to
over
the
to
talk.
I mean, I actually said it to Amaya, and I think that's why I said to formalize it or to make it standard, because I think it would be way more efficient to talk to formally to the APC or to some institutions or maybe some kids associations or something like that to make them aware of this thing, so that even if every time we go to a school or go to I don't know, someone reads a post or whatever, one or two kids follow this thing, it's gonna be one or two per every time you go to a school or whatever. So
like we spread this to every time we have this school visit, which are bachillerato students, every time it is advertised, but we don't have any bachillerato almost.
yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. So this guy who got selected from Basque Country maybe is the only one from bachillerato with regular Italian.
Yeah, and also most of the times that when they come on a school visit from Bachillerato, they're not willing to come. When they come, they're not listening most of the time, maybe.
Well, it's done in the last time when they eat. There's those bacatas. In the end, Idoia advertises those. Sometimes I was coming personally. But okay, first we need to accept that it is not something that can be massive. Like that's only very few special kids who can be really interested.
Yeah, but probably it's not gonna be massive. Or even if it is, it's gonna be maybe the first session, but not up to that.
Yeah. I mean, so the fact that we have this number, which is not high, I think it's the reality. It's partially it is because some people don't have any information. But I think there is not much need to really to talk and convince people. Like those who really would be interested, they already know. For them, it's enough to be aware of this.
The people that was coming, you have their emails or?
Yes, I have emails. I have a WhatsApp group.
So for the next session, we can advertise it there?
No, yeah, well, okay. Who came and who are interested, they are already somehow on the hook. We have mailing list, we have WhatsApp group. So they follow. Okay. That's not a problem to inform people who already came and who are still interested. We have a communication channel.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they were asking, will there be this Sunday, last Sunday? No, not this one.
So thanks again. Thank you for coming.
It happens that I usually choose rather than having math.
You know what?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very nice. I'm very much impressed.
Like I And it was always.
For you.
I mean, it's really nice. I was just like trying to remember